Hey, how's it going, guys? Hope you guys are all doing well today. Um, I'm just gonna do a quick recap of my trades as usual. I'm up $443 today on NEO and Tesla. Um, and I feel like the trades I took today were pretty straightforward. I don't think I made too many glaring mistakes or anything really crazy happen. This is all pretty straightforward stuff. Neo was the first one I traded. Uh, there's pretty clear pre-market action that is kind of gave me the clue to trade this one in the first place. Right here is the level I'm looking at, around 47.60. Uh, Obviously, I went short on this red candle. I went short, let's see, 46. So it was already below this blue line that I just marked out. So that was creating, and well, let's see, one, two, three, four. So this happens on the fourth 1 minute candle, and that's important because that is 1 minute away from closing this 5 minute candle. And when you have a big, engulfing candle like this, you can expect some sort of continuation lower. And if that does happen in the fifth minute, then you get the close of the 5 minute here, like this with this big topping tail. And you can see the open is just below this blue line, but it actually closes much lower, and you get this big reversal candle. And so that's a good, that's a good sign to short. So that's kind of my thinking on that one. And you see this a lot in the first few minutes of the day. You get a lot of these 5 minute candles doing, you know, creating certain patterns like this, where it will close below that, key level or whatever, and you get this kind of failed break of uh, of a really important pre-market level. And so that's kind of something you can look for to, uh, potentially go short or long, depending on what the setup looks like. What's up, John? How's it going? Um, and then, yeah, so cover, 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 cover comes back up here. I'm watching Neo in here. I like the EVs for trading right now. Obviously, they have a lot of volume and a lot of momentum, and they move around quite a bit, so they're good to trade really at almost any time of the day. And in here, short again on this candle, and collect, 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 collect. And obviously, I could have held on a little bit longer here. This would have been nice to get out closer to this bottom here. This is actually entering 300 shares for a long trade now. And then as it squeezes back up again, I really wish that I could have held on to this. It's just tricky because my thinking on this was you have this support here. I marked out this level. It's also the close of yesterday, um, and you get this bottom here pre-market. But I didn't really anticipate that we kind of just came through this level, and that's something that you have to be mindful of. Is like these levels don't always act as a perfect support. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to get it 100% of the time where it touches that support and then gives you a clean bounce off of it. And this is an example where I really didn't get that. You can see I'm long at 45.60. So let me put my cursor where that is. This is 45.60 right here. So I went long right in front of that level, and then we just get this kind of clean break of it, and that scared me. I was in that moment. I was actually looking to unwind the position in some capacity because I didn't really like how it just kind of broke through that technical level, which to me looked really strong. Um, this is a really strong pattern. It is pre-market action, but I like how you have kind of bigger red candles. We're kind of coming down here, and then the open of this green candle is right at the close of this red candle. It's a bottoming tail and an engulfing candle. So I would give that technical level like some pretty good. Uh, I would have I would have said that is a reliable level to work off of. But unfortunately here, we didn't really get that. Although the long did end up working. I was long here at 60, and then it comes down through here, and we got this reversal candle here. And so once I saw this nice bottoming tail here, that's when I was waiting for a candle like this to form, and I thought it might be around this level because it seemed like shorts were getting really in over their heads, ahead of themselves on this move, and then also the volume on this candle was quite nice, and that's when we squeezed back up, and I knew the second that I got out of this position that it was one that I would probably have been safe holding on to a bit longer as it came back up here to VWAP. Even if I had just gotten out here at in the 90s, I would have been happier with that than at an average of 74. It is a little bit lame, and I could have done better, honestly, and should have done better. Um, so I think the two things to take away from this trade are pretty important, which is that even technical levels that you think are really going to come into that the most reliable technical levels, the one that the ones, the price levels you expect to work, they, you know, they may not. And, it's debatable whether you can say that this worked or didn't, because I don't really look at this and say that, I don't know, it really can go either way, because on a different time frame, you might see, like, let's look at the 3 minute, for instance. On the 5 minute, these candles close. All right, so fair enough. 15 minute, that's not really gonna give us much information, but I mean, that's interesting. This candle closes green on the 15 minute. It depends on how you look at things, but on the 5 minute, you look at this, and I suppose you could say that this technical level didn't really offer a good, um, a great buy signal. You would have been better off maybe here at the low of this wick. That, I suppose, would have been a bit better. All right, moving on to Tesla. Was the only other stock that I traded. This was a good idea. Again, it just didn't work, and they don't always work, but the key is to cut it early, which I did. Um, and I was in the money on this about $3, but I only took 50 shares because Tesla's quite volatile today. They had news that they are being finally inducted into the S&P 500. So um, that is the cause for this move. And oh wow, that's wow, they're actually breaking the bottom here. 438. I wonder if this could retrace possibly all the way back to the 420 level. That would be a great spot to pick this one up. But regardless of that, so let's look at this trade. This is a really obvious trade. Let me zoom out even more here. Um, so you have this initial dip here, and this is really just a reversal as it comes back up through VWAP. I set my buy at 459, so um, that's just here above this level. I wanted to make sure it was above these two candles. So I set my buy order there, got filled, and then I had an opportunity to take $3 in the money, but I decided not to. It looked like it had some good momentum, but I kind of knew in the back of my head that once this candle closed like this below this 200 moving average, and with this big wick, I lost a little bit of confidence that it would continue higher, and then obviously this candle here is a big failed break of the 200, and then back to the downside, back to VWAP. And so on this candle back up, I cut my position, and that was about a $75 loss on that trade. So in at 459, out at for a $1.50 loss on 50 shares is a $75 loss. All right, and then I took 100 shares on this one. Typically, I like to. I will typically trade something of this sort of setup, but it's not. not the best. I was really kind of looking for more of a scalp-like trade on this. I'm not super I'm not super I would not advocate super strongly to trade these sorts of setups because it's really this is where you get into range bound action and you can never really tell what the next move is going to be, higher or lower. You never really know because a bottom like this and a kind of slow grind higher um, isn't really a conducive uh, pattern. In my opinion, I wouldn't typically trade this, but in terms of the 1 minute setup here, it's fine. Just you have this pull back, and then this 1 minute candle with a small wick here, and then you have this kind of low 2 minute consolidation here, which is a very short-term support, not super significant, but regardless of that, it's it's uh, somewhat reliable now that we have this little wick here. One move up, 2 minute pullback, and on these two candles, I was getting just a little bit nervous, but not so bad because uh, you have two wicks here, and I was waiting for, believe it or not, a green reversal here to uh, take place. It's not as tricky as you might expect. You have a engulfing or a nice big green candle here, and then just a very short-term 2 minute flag, bull flag, and then small breakout. It's pretty pretty standard stuff. Obviously, when you get down to just a 4 minute candlestick pattern, um, it's not something that you should trade all the time and not something you should try to scalp all the time because more often than not it won't work. But I do think that this here, this red candle is and especially and this continuation too actually um, is a move that will trap a lot of shorts and then maybe get a maybe get a squeeze out of that. So that's all that was, but a little disappointed I didn't hold on because these these arrows are a little bit they are a little bit tricky in that they point at the bottoms and the tops of the candles, so it makes it look like I got out at the top, but I actually got out here at 448.06, so just below where my cursor is right here. And as you can see, I left about half this candle on the table, and then even more upside up here to 451 would have been a great out. Uh, oh well. So that would have been another $300 on the trade that I left money on the table. But that's that's something that I do a lot, and I'm not. I it's something I need to work on. Is you got to wait for the trade to go in, go your way, and then once it has gone your way, you need to really wait for your targets to hit and wait for it to play out um, and not just get out at the first sign of green. But I was down $75 on it, and so once I saw green, I was like, all right, I'm happy with that, and I got out. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just I do wish that I had, you know, taken a little bit more out of, a little more gravy out of that one. And yeah, so that's it. I mean, this has been, a pretty good day. Green is good, and I suppose I like the action that we're seeing in the last couple days a little bit better than what we saw last week for sure. And I just hope, you know, volume continues and I'll be back at it tomorrow. So if you have any questions, be sure to you can join the Discord server. The link is in the description and join that and you can ask me any questions and we can chat or whatever. And all right, so that's it for me, and you guys have a good rest of your day. So long.